What's the next one on your guys' handout?
Cutting the material.
Cutting the material. Okay, so now I'm going to go through setup of the material. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to energize my saw. So I'll plug it in here. Remember, you have power underneath each octagon table. Okay, so with this, I might need one person's help in just a moment. So Davion's going to help me because I have a long piece of material. And what I do to get my saw set up, I check the angles like I did. And over here, right underneath the motor, this is the motor, and underneath here is a little silver pin. What you do is you just lightly push the saw down a little bit further, and you pull that pin out, and then it'll be able to release the saw up. Okay? You're gonna forget where that pin is, so ask a friend or ask me, but right underneath here under the motor. Okay? So that's as far up as it'll go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure my material, make a mark with my pencil, call it good. Davion's gonna come over here. He's going to hold that in because I want to support it. Because I want to make sure that my wood is flat against the table, this part of the table, and that it's flat against the fence. And if Davion lets go ahead and let go. If I'm trying to hold it with one hand, you can see that it's always trying to teeter-totter. So just having one extra person to make sure that that material is in a safe spot is the best method to use. Okay? I'm going to grab a clamp from underneath our octagon tables. They're always on the north side of your tables. These slide clamps are nice to use for a lot of materials, and I hope it works for this. If I can sneak one end under here, and then my other end, I slide it down, and then it has a twist. And then that'll help us from keeping our material from moving. Okay? I did all this while making sure that my line was where I wanted it to be, but I didn't. So I am going to go ahead and adjust it. Davion, you want to go ahead and hold that side again and pull it your way about a foot. More, please. More. I'm just going to cut a little sliver off, okay? While I clamp, remember it's important to make sure that this whole side is against the fence. Because if Davion was holding it like that, that's not safe. It'll induce movement to the wood. Okay, so Davion and I are working together, clamping it down, and he's still going to hold it even if the clamp can save it all. One way to help line up, guys, for your line is to get eye level right here with the guard, and it has little perforations in it, and you can look to see where that blade, where the teeth are going to be if you just lower it ever so little towards your line, and you can see exactly where it's going to cut. Okay? So in woodworking, we normally don't cut the middle of the line. Why do we not cut the middle of the line? Yes, Sean?
Because the blade has a certain thickness and it's going to cover more than just the thickness of the line.
Yes. So it would take away from your measurement. This process of cutting the wood, like Sean says, it takes away the material, and that is called the kerf.
Yeah, the kerf.
The kerf. K-E-R-F. The kerf is material lost. It's the sawdust. So you always want to see what side of the blade you are on with your line. Okay? So if I was cutting from Davion's end, if I measured from down there all the way to over here, I would want my line on this side. On this side. Okay? And just think that through. And you can always ask a neighbor as well. Okay? I just want to double check my notes. These are the quiz questions, okay? And I kind of walk through them as we go on our examples. What I want you to watch for your handout though, is how I cut the material. I'll be vocal on some things, and then when the blade comes to a stop. When the blade comes to a stop. So everybody needs to have their safety glasses on now. If you do not, probably there's some extra underneath the fire blanket right to your left right there. Question, Ben?
And I did my normal glasses too.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you need to do to be able to see the best. All right, now the safe place to stand is right here in front. How many left-handers do I have in here? Any left-handers? Okay. You would probably want to flip everything over, and you would be more comfortable with having your left hand here and your right hand as your hold. Okay, so make sure you. Now with this here, you're gonna listen. It's loud. See how it popped my hand up? Because I wasn't holding it firmly. This thing has some juice. So you want to hold it firm, and when it's just like if you've ever shot a gun or any projectile motion launcher, when your hand is on the trigger, then it's ready to fire or it's ready to turn on. So don't be having your hand here talking to your friend. All right? So Kyle, make sure that if your hand is here, he's just falling asleep. Make sure that your hand, when it's here, you're ready to go. You're locked in mentally on what you're doing. Okay? So when I do it, I'm firm with it here. I have my hand on my stock material, and I give myself at least 2 inches from it, from the blade. So my safety zone is 2 inches. All right? I bring my blade down just a little bit. When we introduce it to the material, we want to make sure the saw is moving. I don't want to start my blade on the material because it will rough it up and it won't be a clean cut. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. And it sounds different, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to slowly cut through the material at a good rate, and then I'm going to leave this in the down position because that is the safest way to release the blade, okay? So I let go of the trigger, and now I'm in the down position. And what I get in the habit of doing a lot is I go ahead and just lock it out again. And then I can go ahead and unclamp my material. And Davion, you got that in? Davion goes ahead and removes the wood. And there's the cut I made. All right, nice and smooth. So we'll save that one. We'll come back to it. Davion, let's go ahead and cut another little sliver.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
I'm going to try for the thinnest piece. Okay? I'm going to bring down, eyeball it. I'm going to see how thin I can get a piece. Okay, don't move.
Clamp that sucker.
So this is competition some guys will do if they're really into power tools and woodworking. They'll try and use motorized saws to see how thin of a piece they can actually cut. So let's see what I can get.